Imagine waking up one day and realizing the person lying beside you, the person whose face you know, whose body you memorize, whose voice once felt like home, suddenly feels like a stranger. That's not just heartbreak, that's haunting. To me, a stranger in my house isn't simply about betrayal or infidelity. It's about the psychological disorientation that happens when love transforms into alienation. It's about the eerie feeling of losing someone while they're still physically present. And it's about the mental unraveling that comes when the relationship you trusted no longer reflects the intimacy you believed in. Today on Melodic Minds, we're breaking down the lyrics, symbolism, and hidden psychology behind Tamia's haunting ballad. By the end, you'll realize this song is more than a ballad of heartbreak. It's a chilling exploration of identity, deception, and the fragility of trust in human connection. Tamia's opening lines immediately set the tone of suspicion and emotional unease. She sings, "There's a stranger in my house. Took a while to figure out." Psychologically, suspicion is often the first crack in the foundation of intimacy. When something feels off but can't yet be proven, the mind begins to spiral. This reflects what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort of holding two opposing realities. On one hand, she knows her partner as the lover she once trusted. On the other, she feels an unfamiliarity so sharp that it shakes the sense of her safety. This is the psychological equivalent of being trapped in a haunted house, except the haunting comes from someone you love. The stranger in the house symbolizes more than just potential infidelity. It's also a metaphor for emotional distance. When people grow apart, their behaviors, expressions, and energy shift suddenly until the partner they once knew becomes emotionally unrecognizable. It's as if the ghost of who they used to be is replaced by an imposter. And to Mia's voice, you can hear the chilling fear that she's not just losing love, she's losing the very person she thought she knew inside and out. The song also captures the psychological experience of gaslighting. Notice the way Tamia questions herself. She sings, "Could it be you changed, or is it me?" This lyric captures the self-doubt victims of betrayal or dishonesty often face. Instead of immediately blaming her partner, she wonders if her own perception is flawed. This illustrates how manipulation and distance in relationships can cause someone to distrust their own reality. It's not just about the stranger, it's about how the presence of that stranger makes her question herself. As the lyrics unfold, the haunting deepens. She sings, "Something's wrong with the way you're kissing me." On the surface, it sounds like she's describing a physical difference, but symbolically, this represents loss of authenticity and intimacy. A kiss is one of the purest symbols of closeness, passion, and honesty. When even a kiss feels foreign, it signals that emotional intimacy has been corrupted. The act may remain the same, but the energy behind it has vanished. This lyric powerfully illustrates how emotional betrayal can contaminate even the simplest gestures of love. Another layer of psychological symbolism is the home itself. Tamia doesn't say there's a stranger in my life. She says there's a stranger in my house. A house symbolizes security, stability, and belonging. To find a stranger in that space represents the ultimate violation. It reflects how betrayal invades not just the heart, but also the psyche, turning safe spaces into places of suspicion and fear. It's why betrayal often feels like a kind of psychological trespassing. The walls that once protected you now echo with distrust. Digging deeper, Stranger in My House explores themes of identity loss. Relationships often intertwine with two identities so tightly that when one person changes, it destabilizes the other. Tamia's character isn't just questioning her partner, she's questioning herself. She sings, "Could it be you changed, or is it me?" Suggests that she wonders if she's projecting or imagining the disconnection. This mirrors the psychological phenomena of relationship-induced self-doubt, where one partner's deception leads the other to unravel their own sense of self. The haunting repetition of stranger in the chorus reinforces the psychological theme of familiar unfamiliarity. In psychology, there's a conception called the uncanny. When something is both familiar and foreign at the same time, it creates discomfort and fear. That's exactly what Tamia captures. Her partner's face, voice, and body are familiar, yet his essence feels alien. This uncanny feeling amplifies the emotional horror of betrayal. Symbolically, the stranger can also be seen as the shadow self, the hidden part of our partner that was always there but now only revealed. Psychologically, we all have shadow selves, aspects of our personalities we keep hidden until circumstances expose them. In Tamia's narrative, the stranger isn't necessarily new. It's a part of our partner's identity that was masked during love's honeymoon glow. Now that mask has slipped. From a broader life lesson perspective, Stranger in My House teaches us about the importance of emotional awareness and intuition. Tamia's character trusts her instincts. She senses the difference before she can prove it. This highlights a critical psychological truth. The body often detects changes in energy and authenticity long before the mind can rationalize it. Ignoring these signals can prolong pain, but acknowledging them as she does opens the door to self-preservation. There's also a message here about change in relationships. Sometimes the stranger isn't an external force or a literal affair. Sometimes it's growth. People evolve, and when two people evolve in opposite directions, they can become strangers even without betrayal. This lesson reminds us that relationships must adapt, communicate, and nurture intimacy to prevent alienation. Otherwise, two people may wake up one day feeling worlds apart under the same roof. The hidden symbolism of the song also ties into fear of abandonment. The more she emphasizes the stranger, the clearer it becomes that what truly terrifies her isn't just infidelity, it's the loss of emotional security. Psychologically, humans crave attachment, and when that attachment is threatened, the body responds with panic, confusion, and grief. This fear haunts the song more than anger. She's not screaming with rage, she's trembling with sorrow and disbelief. Musically, the haunting production mirrors the psychology. The song's dark, atmospheric tone feels like walking through a house with flickering lights, unsure of what's hiding in the shadows. The production itself symbolizes the eerie uncertainty of relationships where love and lies coexist. Tamia's soaring vocals cut through like a cry for clarity, mirroring the psychological desperation to understand whether she's losing her partner or herself. The greatest life lesson this song offers is about trusting yourself in love. Relationships often teach us to prioritize trust in our partner, but Stranger in My House shows us the danger of dismissing our own instincts. The haunting truth is that the mind can be fooled by words, but the heart and body can be fooled by energy. If the kiss feels different, if the eyes look away, if the warmth fades, your intuition is signaling the truth. The stranger is real, even if it's invisible at first. And finally, the song leaves us with a psychological paradox. The idea that you can sleep beside someone every night and still not know who they truly are, that's not just about betrayal. That's about the complexity of human beings. We are layered, multifaceted, and sometimes secretive. The stranger represents the reality that we can never fully own or control another person's inner world. The haunting beauty of Tamia's song is that it doesn't just tell us about heartbreak. It tells us about the fragility of intimacy and the courage it takes to face the stranger when they appear. Tamia's Stranger in My House is more than a heartbreak anthem. It's a haunting psychological journey into suspicion, alienation, and self-doubt. It teaches us that sometimes the scariest ghosts are not in haunted mansions, but in the people we love most. The hidden messages whisper about intuition, the probability of change, and the need to protect your own emotional truth. The life lesson here? Don't ignore the stranger, because sometimes the hardest part of love isn't losing someone, it's realizing they were never fully yours to begin with.